What is up, everybody? So, traveled downtown for probably the last weekend ever before I move out to Iowa, and my town is still LARPing. Take a look. So, as you can see, my streets are pretty empty, but they're still having these ridiculous festivals, right? They're still play acting and telling people to wear masks on the street and acting like they're doing something for the community, but you can see it really all it's doing is ending the through traffic of cars. I wish it was almost colder out so that they hadn't done this. So again, it's like zombie land here. It's good to see some people not wearing masks, but at the same time, like if I turn over here and you see this group of girls walking past, they're all wearing masks. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's totally nuts. And then if I flip down to the road that way, you'll see how empty it is. I mean, take a look. I mean, this is a street festival. It's supposed to be an 80s party. Again, everything is so Orwellian and out of touch in New York. If you're still here, make your exit plan. What are you waiting for? So I got some new news on the numbers. And by the numbers, I mean what they said the COVID numbers were, which are more and more turning out to be completely fake and false. So they said they had 848 positives in the town. Now they're totally recanting that very silently. It's only in the local media. And they're saying there are doubles, there were false positives, et cetera, et cetera. That's why it never got updated on the state level. Okay. So the state could keep their under 1% infection rate, and people like Fauci can use their lies and their Faucian language to just bullshit people. Didn't stop them from sending everybody home. Didn't stop them, and really home, I mean, they just sent them downtown. They now have, I believe, 8 kids on campus who are there. They shut the campus down, but because there were some kids that couldn't have facilities. So now they only have really 8 infected. Remember, 99+% completely asymptomatic, guys. 100% not sick. Completely asymptomatic. Now we're finding out even the one hospitalization that they put in there about a week and a half ago and never, ever, 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 ever commented on or confirmed and then stopped giving updates altogether. Also a lie and false. Why are we listening to these people? They get to lie to you with impunity. And that is why I am leaving my beautiful little community, because I don't want to. It's nice out here. There's a lot of good people out here. You know I love my park walks. You know I like the people here for the most part. But New York is shot. New York is shot. When in the same breath, Andrew Capo Cuomo can tell you lies about the numbers, lies about the safety and efficacy of a vaccine that's not even out yet, right? So in other words, he'll tell you out of the gates, basically, the Trump vaccine, the Atlas vaccine is a no-go in New York, the pre-election vaccine. So when he does his little dicka-dicka-doos, his press conferences, he'll bring up a bullshit article about how 54% of people don't want to take a vaccine before the election. Really? Because if you actually looked at this country, there are 2/3 of people that aren't taking the vaccine no matter what. Has nothing to do with the election. And that's a much higher rate, isn't it? 2/3 is 66 point, I believe, 6% or somewhere in there. Over 66% aren't going to want to take it. That's not what the capo tells you. So basically, just the way he said, you know, no hydroxychloroquine in New York State, he's going to say no warp speed vaccine. And remember, Scott Atlas said it was voluntary. Let me repeat that. Scott Atlas said that vaccine would be voluntary. That's not what Andrew Capo Cuomo wants. That's not what he's planning on. Wake up, wake up, wake up. If you're still here and you have the means to get out now. Make the plan. I should have been out last month. Period. Like, I wish it had been quicker. But now the gears are in motion. The boxes are being packed. The moving van is coming. Because I'm not going to be part of the quote-unquote first COVID-free state, which is an impossibility. There is no vaccine that has ever worked 100% of the time. No matter how good or effective it was. I want to repeat that. Oh my goodness. But yet, he'll get up there as the capo and say, can you imagine 19.5 million people fully vaccinated. He said a fully vaccinated state. And if you think, again, that somehow the vaccine that comes after the election will be better than the vaccine they provide before, maybe not the election, but the turnover of power, okay? I'll just say this. They're going to spin it. We live in such an Orwellian society that it's so easy for them to just basically say that everything Trump says is a lie, that this vaccine's no good, but our vaccine will be mandated, will be mandated, will be mandated. Joe Biden, who doesn't know where he is the majority of the time, is telling you he is running on a platform of mandated masks across the country. The guy would not be in until January. Until January. And then they act like half the country or more than half the country would want that. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share, by the way. So you're telling me more than half the country wants to be masked up indefinitely and take some shot for a coronavirus when there's never been a successful vaccine for any coronavirus ever in the history of man. And their own flu vaccine from last year, the CDC admits was less than 50% effective. But Cuomo's going to tell you fully COVID free. He's going to tell you some real Johnny nonsense. What's up, Dev? You know, living the dream one day at a time. Somebody's got to do it. So guys, I mean, again, it's zombie land. I walk up to Main Street. It's got to be 75, 80 degrees out today. It's gorgeous. Bunch of people with slave masks on. Bunch of people that don't understand science, that they put out there that this thing could only not be passed through a P3 mask. And yet on the flip side of that, last night, out on one of the major bridges in the city, you had hundreds of people, arm in arm, side to side, protesting. Again, it's a Black Lives Matter protest, so it's okay. It's not an anti-lockdown protest, right? Thousands and thousands of people, there'll be no spread, right? It's just like the lie they told you that somehow Oneonta was a super spreader because of parties. They didn't test them on purpose. You know, this woman, Jasmine, and I wish I knew her last name. She only got like 40 Twitter followers. I don't know if she'd be brave enough to come on my show and talk about her article that, again, ask these people, and not in a hard enough manner, why they didn't test the kids beforehand, why the numbers are off, what about these false positives, etc. You're never going to see that in the national news. Instead, you'll see, you know, big lies and fluff pieces by the New York Times with no evidence telling you that parties spread coronavirus. Be very afraid. Be very afraid. And people laughed at me and scoffed at me when I said to them, hey man, they're telling me that this is going to be 6 months. And now we're past 6 months. We are past 6 months last week. And if you think it's ending in another month or in 9 months, or if these people have it in a year, you're not paying attention. Because the billionaire class, the predator class, and their buddies, what are they saying? Lockdown 2021. Pandemic 2. Second wave. Fauci is the Lord and Savior. That's what they're saying. They don't like Atlas. They don't want to reopen. They want to make this beyond purely political. Because if you think this is just a Republican and Democrat thing, you're missing the total point. This is a 100% full-on predator class operation of authoritarianism to bring us into a automation nation, UBI society, for a transhumanist push. That's what this is. That's what this is, man. People live in fear. They don't want to shake hands. They don't want to smile at one another. They're constantly putting on this effing hand sanitizer. You know, I went out for a drink with my buddy on, I think it was Thursday night. We went and had to get a meal with it. You know, they serve you the chips right in front, or a hot dog or some nonsense anyway, but sitting there eating a meal, having a Corona. Oh no, having a Corona. And I watch 3 people walk in, and you know, I'm not trying to crap on rednecks or anything, but obviously these guys, country boys, Carhartts, you know, you think rugged, tough guys, four-wheeling kind of guys. The first thing every single one of them went for was the hand sanitizer. Like, really? You're in a bar. It's 10 o'clock at night. What do you think the hand sanitizer is doing for you? And then a group of about half a dozen girls comes in, does the same thing. They've been trained so well to be in fear of germs and people they don't know and places they're not familiar with and be at 6 feet away from people. It's sick. It's disgusting. It's over the top. And I'm done with it. I'm done with it. So, you know, fair warning to all you New Yorkers out there. Now's the time to get out. I wish I could say that we could stay and fight, but the system here, I don't know how to do it. I mean, I just don't. I'm an imperfect being, and I wish I could fight harder. I wish I had better solutions at times. I wish that the man we call governor was in prison and his crimes exposed, but instead, guys like Fauci and the establishment promote him as doing the best job when he did the worst, and that he's America's governor. And that should tell you something, because the guy went on TV and said that China did a better job with COVID than the United States. China, the one that was spraying people on the streets with disinfectant. China, the one that put CCTV cameras in people's homes. China, the place where we saw people dropping dead on the streets. China, the place that again said they had like what, less than 3,000 or 4,000 deaths, and then 10,000 urns popped up out of nowhere. China, the place where Uyghur Muslim slaves are used in factories. China did a better job, according to the capo. So guys, thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share. The link is down below for the GoFundMe. The Faraday cage, if you watched yesterday with Dan Dix, we got about, I don't know, I think it was a little bit over 50 orders. You did a great job for me, guys. Everybody is unfortunately going to be getting a refund because Dan did not think that he was going to be able to hit the $5,000 marker in time, or I'm sorry, the 5,000 unit marker in time to actually produce these things. And it sucks because I really wanted to help support the guy. Press for Truth is an amazing outlet and needs the support, but basically some other big names in alternative media didn't get back to him, didn't get on the program, and a lot of you people were ordering it as Christmas gifts, you know what I mean? That's what you were expecting. So unfortunately, with less than 1,000 orders total, he had to pull the plug. It sucks because, you know, I want to be involved in things that support other media that I believe in. You know, I know I'm not the end all be all, and I know we all have to have each other's backs. But one of the things that people don't understand about this whole thing in alternative media is that no matter what somebody tells you about them not being in competition, et cetera, people are very competitive in this field. They are. And there are things that happen behind the scenes that are not great, that I'll never talk about, but you should kind of be aware of. So again, thumbs up, subscribe, share. We'll be back with several videos today. The move is happening. So in the next few days, maybe it's only going to be 2-3 videos a day, and we'll see what happens. But once we get to Iowa, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern, every single day over at the Rockfin, live and free. And then we're going to work it out from there. Guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you all on the flip side.